Everyone has been asking a lot about Tugboat. He's my French bulldog lately. Ever since last time I talked about him snoring, and everyone was like, what's that noise in the background? And I said, it's my dog snoring. Ever since then, everyone says, can we see Tugboat? Can we see your dog? So if we get this video to 500 likes, I'll bring him on the next live stream, the next crypto update. We'll do it tomorrow. Let's get it to 500 likes and we'll bring Tugboat on during the beginning. But anyways, right now we have a lot going on in the crypto world. First, we're going to go over the crypto winter. We've seen prices fall back down significantly. Ethereum's well below $2,000 per coin. Bitcoin, after rebounding, reached almost $35,000 per coin. It dropped back down. Now it's closer to 31, 32,000. We're also going to go over Bitcoin ETFs that were just approved in a couple of countries. Very exciting what's going on with the Bitcoin ETF in the US. We're going to go over some crypto ATMs, new information that came out with China, Cardano, something very interesting, probably the most exciting story of the day because it's between Cardano and El Salvador. This is a very exciting story. We're going to talk about the end, so make sure to stick around until then. And if you're just joining us, I will put timestamps down below for all of the topics once the video is over. And also, please be sure to like the video and subscribe if you are new. Also, one quick thing is everyone might be wondering, why is the title just cryptocurrency and Bitcoin news? I am not going to try and, clickbait a title, try and figure anything out. It's going to be simple. Everyone just wants to hear what's going on with crypto and Bitcoin. So the title is going to be, for every crypto update, just cryptocurrency and Bitcoin news. And we're going to cover everything that's important going on, from Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Cardano, what's going on with China. We're going to cover all of that in these updates, but I'm just going to title the video simple: cryptocurrency and Bitcoin news. So make sure you have your notifications on for that. But anyways, let's get right into this. Let's start off with what is going on with the market first. So right now, when we look at the market's down 2.73%. Bitcoin's down 2.8%. Ethereum's down 3%. Binance Coin's down 4%. Dogecoin's down 1%. Most coins are in the red for the day, except if we're talking about a couple of stable coins and a couple of coins here and there. But ultimately, it's a little concerning because Bitcoin right now, after we saw the massive flash crash from 35,000 all the way down to $28,000 per coin, many people are concerned that now we are entering a bear market, that it's going to be a crypto winter, and it doesn't look too great, just to be honest, because what we're seeing now is that while we did recover pretty quickly, you can see on the chart right here, we did bounce back very quickly. The thing that is concerning is that we're dropping down to lows again. So if we close below $30,000 per coin, I know there's no such thing as closing in crypto, but if we see it drop below 30,000 and stay below that, well, then the next support's at $25,000 per coin. Anyways, let's get into what is going on with this so-called crypto winter and what is going on with the crypto winter. So right now, many analysts are saying, look, Bitcoin right now is slumping towards another crypto winter. And for those of you who don't know what this means, crypto winter is essentially the cycle after Bitcoin has a massive rally and we see a drop off. The crypto winter is when we typically see the price consolidate, move down, and just really not have much action at all for a long extended period of time. We have seen this because since 2012, Bitcoin has had 14 different sell-offs. There have been 14 sell-offs of 30% or more, 6 sell-offs of 50% or more, and 3 sell-offs of 80% or more. So the thing is when we typically see the biggest sell-off, that's when we see the longest extended period of time where Bitcoin doesn't really move, and that's called the crypto winter. But right now, the thing to keep in mind, which is actually a positive note, is that Bitcoin has not had an 80% drop off from where it was. We have seen Bitcoin's price really drop about 50% from where it was. All-time highs earlier this year for Bitcoin were right around $65,000 per coin. We can see that the high on April 14th was right at $64,854 per coin. So right now we are at 31,000. So we're just about 50% drop off since there. But either way, many analysts are saying right now that since we broke $30,000 the other day, since we dropped below that, we were at 29,000, that things don't look great in the short term for crypto. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys are concerned about this in the short term. I'm not so much, but because I see all these as buying opportunities. Every time I see crypto drop more, I see Bitcoin's price drop, I see Ethereum's price drop. Well, I just say, look, you know what? You can't control what's going to happen short term, but you can predict long term based on the technology. If you believe in the technology, what's going on there. And I definitely believe in the technology behind Ethereum, Bitcoin, all the different cryptos and what they're aiming to do. I believe in the technology, so I'm not worried about a drop off short term, because every time we have seen in the past, we have seen like an 80% drop off followed by like a 20x return. Then we see another 50% drop off followed by another massive rally. We have seen this in multiple occasions in the past. In 2013, Bitcoin rose 10x, then fell 87%. Then in 2017, we rose 20x, then fell 84%. But if we look at the chart over time, even though it looks like we're entering what is so-called a crypto winter, if we look at the chart over time, we consistently break our previous all-time highs and break out into new records. And it's happened time and time again. Back in 2018, I know so many people who said, look, we're never going to reach $20,000 per coin again. You missed out. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people sold off. We dropped all the way from 20,000 in December of 2017 all the way down to $5,000 per coin, even $3,000 on January of 2019. So it took about a year. It took about a year. We reached $3,000 per coin, but then since then we have 20x'd our price again. So we have seen this happen time and time again. Even though we are looking like we're entering a crypto winter, I think there are a couple things that could actually change this. I think there are a couple of things. The first is going to be what is going on with the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, not just in the US, but all across the world. Because what we're seeing now is we're finally starting to see institutions get involved in crypto, start to invest money into Bitcoin, money into Ethereum, when previously in all the other bull runs, we had seen very minimal institutional investors, if any at all. It was like all retail investors. But now is the first time that we're finally starting to see institutions. And what we're seeing here is that great news the other day is that the first Bitcoin ETF in Latin America debuted on the Brazil Stock Exchange. And this is pretty exciting. So this is the first ever Bitcoin ETF in Latin America. We already have a couple in Canada, a couple Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. We have 0 in the US, but now we have our first ever approved and officially traded and listing in Latin America on the Brazil Stock Exchange. And this is, it was made by QR Capital, which is a blockchain investment firm and asset manager. And they say their mission is to essentially make it easier to access Bitcoin for institutions. They want to simplify Bitcoin for institutional investors, make it much easier for them to invest in it without having to worry about all these regulations in place. But according to the CEO, Fernando, he said that we can see the market maturing in its search for safer and simpler Bitcoin exposure options. Our Bitcoin ETF is a landmark for both financial and crypto markets once it is the convergence point between them. The Brazilian investor now has a regulated and robust choice to buy Bitcoin. And this is important because what we've seen throughout the last 6 months or so is in the US, we have a dozen Bitcoin ETFs, crypto ETFs, that continue to get denied by the government. We see that the SEC continues to say, look, we don't want to approve a Bitcoin ETF. We don't want to approve an Ethereum ETF because of issues with people doing illegal activities with Bitcoin, because of people, what are the other ones? Because of illegal activities, because the prices are too volatile, because they can't control it, and they get worried about that. So they say, look, we don't want to approve it, but now we are seeing Canada have approved multiple Bitcoin ETFs. Brazil has their first Bitcoin ETF approved. It's not going to be very long before we see more Latin American countries approve ETFs as well, and probably the US. US keeps delaying decisions. We have seen the VanEck Bitcoin ETF delayed, pushback 45 days. The Valkyrie Bitcoin ETF delayed 45 days. We are seeing a bunch of the ETFs that have been sent for approval to the SEC in the US continue to get delayed 45 days. But at some point, they're going to have to approve it because there's a lot of institutional demand, a lot of demand from retail investors, and it's just a matter of time now before we see them approve these ETFs in the US. But either way, Great news, because we do see more options in Latin America. We see options in Canada. And I think this could be the one thing that really gets us to see another bull run in crypto a lot sooner than people are expecting. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that these Bitcoin Ethereum ETFs are really going to accelerate Bitcoin's price upwards and reach $100,000 per coin for Bitcoin, potentially get as high as $10,000, $12,000 for Ethereum? Do you think that's possible? I definitely think that's the case. I think we easily could see Bitcoin and Ethereum's price skyrocket as soon as we see the SEC approve ETFs for crypto in the US, because then we'll finally see the big money players like BlackRock, Blackstone. We'll see major institutions finally start to invest. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think. But anyways, if you guys can, please be sure to like the video down below. We are getting a pretty slow start. Only about 100 people are here right now. Let's see if we can get this up to 200 likes. And then I know there's only 100 people here, but we'll get more people coming as long as you guys continue to like it. Next up, let's talk about what is going on with 10,000 financial institutions, because 10,000 financial institutions can now let customers buy, sell, hold, and trade Bitcoin directly through their bank accounts. This is something that is very, very exciting, because a company called Fiserv and a company called New York Digital Investment Group, they had a partnership that with this partnership, they're going to be able to facilitate they're going to be able to give 10,000 financial institution clients access to buy, sell, trade Bitcoin. This is important because right now, Fiserv is a publicly traded company. They are a multi-billion-dollar company, and their clients include banks, thrifts, credit unions, security broker dealers, leasing and finance companies, and retailers. So they are a very diversified company with a massive, massive reach. And the exciting thing here is that according to the chief digital and data officer at Fiserv, he says interest in cryptocurrency, and particularly Bitcoin, has skyrocketed over the last several years to the point where Bitcoin investing is now a commonplace activity. And since people turn to their financial institutions, their banks, their payment processors as central place to manage their financial activity, they wanted to start to offer this capability so people don't move elsewhere, because we all know that, let's say, PayPal now lets you pay with Bitcoin, Venmo, you could send people Bitcoin on Cash App. All these different payment processors and financial institutions are starting to be more open to the idea of Bitcoin. So if companies like Fiserv don't get ahead of this, don't get ahead of the trend, and don't start to allow it, well, they're going to get behind. They are definitely going to get behind. So it's a good thing that we're starting to see more widespread adoption of this. And in my opinion, I think this could help push up Bitcoin's price long term, because it's just making it easier for regular everyday people to have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto, because that's what we need. We need it to be as easy as possible for institutions to get into crypto, and we need it as easy as possible for people to buy and sell items just at regular retailers with Bitcoin and to be able to own it. Right now, some people are scared of downloading Coinbase, or it makes them anxious to send money to a crypto wallet address using Binance. But if we start to have it more integrated just into your bank account, directly into your bank account, well, that's going to make it so much easier. And we're already starting to see that with Cash App and Venmo. People can get Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin there. And previously, that was never possible. So that makes it so much easier to grow the reach and expand the reach of crypto and Bitcoin in general to people who may not have really invested in it otherwise. Because a lot of people might not go out of their way to just buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. So let me know what you guys think of that. What is up, Holly, Gravy, Rachel, Drew? What's up, Brenda, James? I see you. If you guys can, please be sure to like the video. You guys say you're in it for the long run. If Kathy Wood is buying the dips, you're buying the dips. I agree. Kathy Wood and ARK Invest bought about they've bought, 1 million shares of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust just the other day during the dip. So yeah. Definitely. Next topic. Let's go on to the next thing. This is with China. there's a lot going on in China right now with what's going on with the crackdown, Bitcoin mining being banned completely, cryptocurrency transactions being heavily regulated. There's a lot going on here. And so we already know the basics. The basics is that China banned Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin miners are starting to leave China. The other thing is that they contacted all financial institutions in China, all the banks, and they said, look, if you see any transaction that looks like it was for cryptocurrency, well, you have to go ahead and either block those accounts, restrict them from sending money to them, or just remove them entirely. So there's a lot going on in China, but while many people were scared of what's going on, it caused the market to crash the other day. According to the CEO of blockchain.com and the co-founder of them, he says, I think it's fantastic news for the Bitcoin ecosystem because ultimately you're going to see a diversification of mining operations around the world. And we've been seeing that trend over the last 2 years because there's been a large amount of Bitcoin miners moved to the US and Europe, but mainly it was in China. So he said this announcement from the Chinese government is going to accelerate the process into Bitcoin miners moving out of China into other countries, and it's really going to help. We've seen this from a couple of other people as well. The president of Facebook Financial actually came out and said the same exact thing the other day. Let me pull that up. He came out the other day and said exactly the same thing. He said that Bitcoin mining pulling it up for you guys. Bitcoin mining being banned from, can't really find it right now, but Bitcoin mining being banned from China is going to help out so many other areas of the world and help Bitcoin mining, first of all, become more efficient, but it's also going to help it diversify, because the problem with Bitcoin mining being only in China is that there's a lot of regulations in place in China. Chinese government can control everything. So if there's too much concentration of Bitcoin mining in one area, it's not good. It's not good. So he said right now the good thing is you're going to see Bitcoin mining companies start to disclose where they're getting their energy from. They're going to move to more energy efficient locations, which will make Bitcoin more accessible to institutions, because right now it's not that Bitcoin being energy efficient it's not. The one thing with Bitcoin mining is that since it has a lot of environmental concerns, it consumes a lot of energy. A lot of major institutions simply can't invest in it because of the fact that it is not good for the environment. That's one of the main reasons why they can't invest in it, because they have to meet certain requirements with all of their investments. And if something is bad for the environment, they don't want to invest in it. So with Bitcoin mining moving out of China, they're going to look for the most energy efficient areas. So for example, Florida has nuclear energy. Texas has wind energy. We see in El Salvador, they can use volcanoes to help generate energy from there. So now what we're going to see is Bitcoin miners look for the cheapest areas in the world to mine Bitcoin. And most of the time, the cheapest areas are going to also end up leading them to where can they do it the most renewable and the most efficient for the environment. So either way, a lot of people are saying, like the head of Facebook Financial, the CEO of blockchain.com, all these people are saying, look, short term, not great. It has had a lot of fear going on in the market with all of the restrictions put in place by China. But long term, it's good for Bitcoin because it's going to diversify what areas of the world Bitcoin is mined in. And it's going to force all these Bitcoin miners to look for energy efficient areas and look for some alternatives to what they were using in China, because they did have some more sustainable resources in China in terms of hydroelectric energy and things like that. So we'll see what happens. But a lot of people say short term, not great. Long term, this is a good thing. Next up, let's talk about what is going on with Athena Bitcoin. So this is exciting because El Salvador, we all know that El Salvador made Bitcoin legal tender the other day. They made Bitcoin legal tender and they said, look, in order for us to actually make Bitcoin practical, where people can actually spend it at locations, they need to have a couple of things. They first of all need to have good internet access. They need to make sure people have devices. They need to make sure people have data plans. But other than that, the next thing is making it very easy to transfer dollars to Bitcoin, make it easy to buy Bitcoin. And one thing that they just did is they have this company called Athena, which they hired essentially to install 1,500 cryptocurrency ATMs across the country, 1,500 of them. And while Athena Bitcoin is a privately owned company, they said that they're going to invest over $1 million to install cryptocurrency ATMs in El Salvador. This isn't the first time they've done this. They have one in the city El Zonte, which is the beach town in El Salvador, which was like the the test city for Bitcoin and legalizing Bitcoin. But either way, the president of El Salvador came out and said, look, that he presented Athena Bitcoin with a tough challenge of 1,500 ATMs. Athena says that they're going to go for that, but since they're a private company, they want to make sure they do this in a smart and sustainable way. They want to make sure that going into El Salvador, they do it right, because the big business model for being in El Salvador with Bitcoin ATMs may be completely different than it is in the US. And so they said they need to figure out exactly what implementation, what business model works the best for them before they go ahead and start to expand, because they don't want to do all 1,500 at once and then realize, wow, we made a big mistake, and then it just screws the entire El Salvador's plan for making Bitcoin legal tender. They need to figure out, okay, what areas are going to be the best, what business model are they going to use so they can be profitable and they can keep these ATMs still running, what is going to work exactly. So the problem with this is that the World Bank has said that they are not going to assist El Salvador at all. So really, El Salvador needs to work with private companies. They need to work with publicly traded companies, but they can't work with the World Bank and International Monetary Fund to actually help implement and make Bitcoin as legal tender a reality. So yeah, you guys have all known, I've said this multiple times in the past, the biggest things with Bitcoin in El Salvador are the three things: internet connection, do people have devices that actually work, and do people have data plans that can function and handle enough data at all times that no matter where you're going, you'll be able to actually buy, sell, and use Bitcoin. Those are some of the biggest issues. And the problem is El Salvador isn't the biggest country economically. So the thing with that is that if you're not in a good place economically, well, a lot of the people in the country don't always have the best of data plans. They don't always have internet connection, and their devices may break and they may not be able to fix it all the time. And that's a problem. With cash, it's easy. You just carry cash around. You could pay wherever you want. Credit card, same thing. But with a device, it's not easy if you don't have internet connection. And right now, El Salvador is the second worst in Latin America in terms of internet connection in rural areas. The only country that's worse is Honduras. So because of that, it makes it a lot harder to actually implement Bitcoin as legal tender long term. If you guys are just joining us, please be sure to like the stream. I'm keeping the titles as cryptocurrency and Bitcoin news, even though they might not do as well as first, just because I'm tired of all the other people just making videos and titles that say greatest Bitcoin signal ever in history, mega Bitcoin returns for whatever 2021. This Bitcoin, no, we're just gonna talk about what's going on with Bitcoin and crypto, Dogecoin, Cardano, everything in the crypto world, and I'm just gonna title it this. So if you guys appreciate that, please be sure just to like the stream and help me. I do streams every single day, Mason the Monkey. Every single day we do a stream, no matter if it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whatever. Even if we'll go any day of the week, any holiday, I post at least 3 videos a day every single day. We have 2 more videos planned for later. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Drew. Mason the Monkey. Yes, I always see you here. Okay, next up. Right now, we covered crypto winter. We covered Bitcoin ETF in Latin America. We covered the crypto ATMs, and we just talked about the China ban on crypto as well, and how that is actually a good thing. Now let's talk about some crypto scams. So the other day in South Africa, we spoke about this story already, so we're not going to talk about it again, but there's a new story. South Africa, they had the big crypto scam. $2.6 billion just disappeared. The founders of a major crypto exchange called AfriCrypt disappeared with the money, shut down the website, froze all the people's accounts, and left. No way for them really to get their money back, because in South Africa, the government says that Bitcoin really isn't a legal investment. They don't have any control over crypto. They haven't really done any investigating into what's going on, and that's not really what they cover there. Yeah, but either way, now we're seeing in a bunch of other areas around the world, same sort of things. The UK police just seized cryptocurrency worth almost $160 million in a money laundering probe. This is very similar to what happened just a couple weeks back in the U.S. If you guys don't remember, in the U.S., the Colonial Pipeline had the Colonial Pipeline in the U.S. had a major problem because they were getting scammed for Bitcoin. And what happened was, let's pull this up. Colonial Pipeline There we go. And we'll do Bitcoin. Pulling this up for you guys. Here we go. The USC's $2.3 million. Let's change up the screen. USC's $2.3 million in Bitcoin paid to Colonial Pipeline hackers. Now we're seeing similar things happen in UK, and this is not the first time that we have seen some sort of scams, some sort of illegal activities taking place where people try and either use Bitcoin for illegal activities, money laundering, or companies are hacked into and forced to pay Bitcoin, like we saw with Colonial Pipeline. But so anyways, what happened in the UK is essentially detectives investigating money laundering in the UK, they seized $160 million in crypto, which is the largest seizure of crypto ever in UK and one of the largest in the entire world. To put this into perspective, in the US with the Colonial Pipeline, they only got 2.3 million. So 158 million versus 2.3, that's a big difference. But either way, the seizure was carried out by detectives from the Metropolitan Police Economic Criminal Command based on intelligence received about the transfer of criminal assets. And we all know that it's not the easiest to actually, for the government to seize Bitcoin and crypto if there's illegal activities done, because we all know with crypto wallets, people could just say, oh, I forgot the password, I can't access the account anymore, and there's nothing anyone could do about it. There's no way to hack into them. There's no way to really get the money out. It's very hard to do. But either way, this was one of the largest ever, $160 million, so I thought it was something interesting to actually talk about. Yes, James, I already called out your name. I did see we spoke about you earlier. You were one of the first people to comment. Next topic I do want to go over is with Cardano in El Salvador. This is the biggest story of the day. This is probably the most exciting story of the day because right now, Charles Hoskinson has already been in talks directly with the El Salvador government after they had approved Bitcoin to make it legal tender. This is something that is very exciting because in El Salvador, they have officially made Bitcoin legal tender, but the law is going to be implemented in September of 2021. Once the law is officially implemented, well, now they're going to have all these Bitcoin ATMs. They're going to really be trying to push to make it so people have crypto wallets. They have a $30 promotion where anyone who downloads the crypto wallet Chivo in El Salvador, they get $30 deposited in Bitcoin into their account. But the thing is no other cryptos have really been talking about getting into El Salvador, and I found that surprising. So I did some research, and I found that Charles Hoskinson talked about this in an entire video the other day on his own YouTube channel. He said, look, we have been in talks with some officials and parties of El Salvador, and I may do a state visit. I sent all documentation and requests for that to meet the president, talk with him about Bitcoin and potentially implementing Cardano. He said, we have talked to a few people in that orbit, and they've expressed their interest in digitizing the country and going beyond just legalizing Bitcoin. So it sounds like they actually want to get into just the entire crypto world, not just Bitcoin as forms of payment, but they want to potentially digitize the entire economy by using Cardano's technology for smart contracts, NFTs, for using decentralized finance. In addition to this, he goes on to say that we would have a better sense in probably the next 2 to 4 weeks. And if there is a proper state visit, they will go over, have some fun, talk with the president. Right now, the exciting thing about Cardano, which I really like about it, is not only are they a very energy efficient crypto, more energy efficient than Ethereum, more energy efficient than Bitcoin. They also have smart contracts, NFTs. Well, they're rolling out smart contracts, not yet, but they're rolling out smart contracts, NFTs, and they're all about DeFi, just like Ethereum. The thing that I really find interesting about Cardano, and things that I always go back to, is that Cardano is making major moves with real world applications. Everyone always talks about, oh, crypto is going to be used one day. You know, they have all these different applications to be actually used. But the thing is right now, Cardano already has a major partnership with the Ethiopian Education Council. With Ethiopian Education Minister came out, this was a couple months back, and he said, look, we partnered with Cardano to give all students in about 3,500 schools blockchain-based IDs that would allow all the students. It totaled 750,000 teachers, 5 million students. It gave them all the ability to track their academic performance without using the blockchain-based ID. So Cardano already has a real-world application with one country, with Ethiopia. Now they're talking about getting into El Salvador. And this is one of the many reasons why I like Cardano long term, because they're not just sitting around and waiting for people to say, oh, I should use Cardano, or oh, I should use Ethereum. They're actively searching out partnerships with governments around the world. Ethiopia was the first one. Now they're trying to talk with El Salvador, and they're trying to figure out, look, we have a crypto that has a lot of different use cases. It is a competitor with Ethereum. Right now, it only has about a $30 billion market cap. If we check on coinmarketcap.com, Cardano's market cap is sitting right around $39 billion. So it's significantly behind Ethereum. It's about 8 times less than Ethereum. But the thing is it's faster, more energy efficient, and it has a lot of the same use cases as Ethereum. So for people who just say, can Cardano overtake Ethereum long term? I think it's definitely possible, because we don't see Vitalik Buterin coming out. He's the co-founder of Ethereum, but we don't see him coming out and talking about partnerships with governments. Like, they are working on a lot behind the scenes with EIP 1559, which is an upgrade, and also with ETH 2.0, but we don't see them talking with Ethiopia, with El Salvador. Meanwhile, Charles Hoskinson and Cardano are actively searching out all of these partnerships. And in my opinion, I think if you have two products that ultimately do very similar things, it's going to come down to which one has the most people on the platform. Right now, Ethereum kills Cardano. They have so many more people using it than Cardano. Cardano has a lot fewer people who actually own it, have Cardano blockchain-based IDs. There's a lot less people. Ethereum has way more people who own it than Cardano. But long term, how are we going to get that better? How is that going to improve? By Cardano actively seeking out these partnerships with El Salvador, with Ethiopia, and that's why I really like them. They're currently doing this. We don't know if this is going to actually come together and work, but what we do know is that Charles Hoskinson said he's reached out to them, he submitted all the formal documentation, and potentially in the future, they're going to be able to have a deal with El Salvador where they can integrate it not just for payments, not just for payment processing, but to make Cardano one of the major cryptos in El Salvador for all activities. So that could be for schools, all students having blockchain-based IDs, for all financial institutions, let's say, use Cardano as well. Like, there's so many different use cases for them. The other day we saw something with the Bank of Israel. The Bank of Israel came out the other day, and it wasn't with Cardano, but this is one of the craziest use cases I have seen for crypto. And this was that the Bank of Israel is currently testing Ethereum and decentralized finance and smart contracts, NFTs, all of that. They're testing it to see how can it work in real world applications. How can we make our own central bank digital currency? And the thing that I found very exciting about this, while it isn't related to Cardano, the thing that is very interesting is that the Bank of Israel tested it out with one of the most exciting real world scenarios that I've seen. And what they did is that they took here they go. They successfully tested the ability to program car ownership and transfer it using a non-fungible token, complete the transaction with an NFT. So basically, they took the title of the car, made it an NFT, and they said, look, if someone sends another person X amount of dollars, it's going to automatically send them over the title of the car. Done instantly. You don't have to worry about the risk or need for central intermediaries. It's not going to take hours. It was instantaneous. Someone paid someone else money, and as soon as that money was received, the car title was automatically transferred over instantly. So this is like a use case for not only Ethereum, but Cardano and many other cryptos that do decentralized finance applications and smart contracts. So when we're talking about Cardano being in El Salvador, Ethereum being used long term, it's like, yes, the Bank of Israel made the initiative to test out Ethereum, see what it could do, see how we could actually implement in real life. But Ethereum and their co-founders aren't actively seeking out governments around the world to do this. This was just Bank of Israel's own initiative, own test. But Cardano, on the other hand, this is why I like them, is because they're actively saying, look, you could do this. We can have schools around the world have Cardano blockchain-based IDs. We could create smart contracts with Cardano. And they're saying, look, we could do all of this. You should use our platform. And Ethereum's just like the other way. Ethereum says, we have this platform. If you want to use it, great. That's basically what they're saying. And if a lot of people are. Ethereum's way more successful right now than Cardano. But it's just something that I think over time is going to keep building and snowballing on itself. And if we see Cardano secure some sort of deal with El Salvador, they already have the deal with Ethiopia. Maybe they'll secure a deal with Tanzania, which is currently talking about crypto. If we start to see them secure all these deals, well, in my opinion, that's going to be huge for Cardano long term. And it's why I bought more the other day when it dropped down to $1. It could drop even lower, but all I know is that what they're doing right now, the products they're working on, are things that I find really interesting and things that I think have real world scenarios. And I want to invest in something that I could see actually have a practical use case long term. And Cardano's doing that for us. They're doing that for us. Next up. Wait, before we get into the next story, if you guys are just joining us, I would really appreciate if you guys could like the video. I'm only going to title these videos Cryptocurrency and Bitcoin News. I don't want to do any sort of clickbait, crazy titles that say major Bitcoin news, Bitcoin to $1 million. I don't want to try and do any of that, even though people are talking about these in a bunch of articles we talk about. The most important thing is knowing what's going on in crypto, whether that's with Dogecoin, whether that's with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, whatever it is. The most important thing is to know what's going on, how that affects the prices, and whether or not, we're entering a bear market, bull market, what's going on. So if you can, just please be sure to like the video. Helps me out a lot. These videos probably aren't going to do as well just because the titles are cryptocurrency and Bitcoin news, but I think it's going to be a great place where people can just check in, see what's going on, and I put the timestamps down below for everyone who is just joining us late. Timestamps will always be down below, so you don't have to worry about that either. So we already talked about crypto winter, Bitcoin ETF, crypto ATMs, China ban, some scams going on, and Cardano. But now I want to get into a couple of bonus stories with what is going on with Bitcoin. And according to the Celsius CEO, who came out and said what he predicts Bitcoin's price will be. So right now, let's talk about that. Celsius CEO came out and said that Bitcoin will go all the way up to $160,000 this year. And this is not the first person to come out and say this. We have seen so many people say Bitcoin can easily surpass $160,000. Really, the specific number that people are saying is $100,000 per coin this year. So a lot of people have been getting worried ever since Bitcoin's price has dropped from 60 down to 30. But you got to remember that multiple times in the past, we have seen 50, 60, 70% drop-offs. And we always recover from that, especially since we are in such the early stages of crypto. The one statistic that I always like to think back to, and the one thing why I think this is very possible, is right now only 6% of people in the US actually own crypto. 6%. Not a 50%, not 30%. And the reason why everyone who watches this video, everyone who talks about it, that surprises them is because you talk to people who own crypto. But the vast majority of people in the US, more than 90%, don't own crypto. A lot of people barely even know what it is, how it could be used, where they buy it. Most people don't know anything about it. So the thing is as we continue to see Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs get approved, as we continue to see more and more institutions say, look, we're going to invest in Bitcoin. The thing is we are so early now in the world of crypto. So it doesn't matter if you get in at Bitcoin at 30 or 40 or 50. The main statistic is 6% of people in the US own crypto. 6%. Imagine when that gets to 50, 60%, because I think it's inevitable that we will get to those percentages. I think eventually one day everyone will own crypto. I really just think it's a matter of time. But either way, the CEO of Celsius came out and said, look, first of all, Celsius is the centralized cryptocurrency lending platform. And he came out and he said that we have not seen the highs yet for 2021 for crypto. When you go too high, too fast, you are bound for a correction. And he said you could see my tweets in both March and February saying we're going to have a crash, we're going to have a correction. And he predicted $30,000 per coin. Everyone always comes out and says after the fact, oh, I predicted this, I predicted that. That's great. But, that's not important that he predicted the $30,000 because if you say enough numbers, you're going to be right at some point. But either way, he said Bitcoin is like a spring. We stretch it too much and we put too much leverage. Too many people get greedy. And that's what we're seeing. And that is true. We saw every single person saying this crypto is amazing, this crypto is amazing, this crypto is amazing. And it didn't matter which one you invested in, the price was going up. The price is going up no matter what. But either way, the exciting thing is that right now we're in a period where a lot of institutions are finally starting to look at crypto and saying, prices are dropping. It's a great time to get in. The other day, as soon as we dropped into the $20,000 per coin range, as soon as we dropped below 30, we saw it bounce back faster than ever before because institutions, if we looked at the blockchain data, institutions start to scoop up more Bitcoin. People who have owned Bitcoin for over 6 months, they start to buy a lot more as well. And we saw everyone who is bullish on crypto, who knows actually what they're investing in, add more to their positions because people who got scared were the people who got in at 50, 60,000. People who just heard about it didn't really know what's going on. But if you understand the technology behind crypto, you realize that digital money, virtual currency, let's just say that, at the most simplest form is going to be here. We already see Apple have Apple Pay where you can go to a place, pay without actually having to bring your wallet. And if you just think about it logically, if you go on a walk, you go on a run, or you're going somewhere, having your wallet, having all, like, let's say bring your wallet, bring in cash. First of all, now you don't really need to bring cash because you can use your card. But wouldn't it just be easier instead of bringing a card just to use your phone? And that's what we're already seeing with Apple Card. And you could already upload your cards onto Apple and on Android, pay directly with Apple or Google Pay. But still, it's going to get even more simple where you just have some sort of crypto or some sort of central bank digital currency, because it might not be Bitcoin, it might not be Ethereum, it could just be that the US releases their own central bank digital currency, and that's what we is. But speaking of central banks, the Federal Reserve came out and said the other day that stablecoin growth is exponential and it deserves a lot of attention. So right now what we're seeing is that a lot of different stablecoins, which are essentially supposed to mimic the US dollar and be backed one for one for the US dollar. They've been seeing a lot of growth very rapidly. And according to a recent interview on Yahoo Finance, Rosengren came out and said, and this is from, who is this? Right here. The president, Eric Rosengren of the Boston Federal Reserve, came out and said, the reason we should be a bit concerned about stablecoin is that they're growing very rapidly. So there is exponential growth in stablecoin. He says, I do think we need to think more broadly about what could disrupt short-term credit markets over time. And certainly stablecoins are one element. We are seeing that more people now are keeping money there. If they buy crypto, a lot of people end up transferring their money to Tether, especially when the market's going down. We see, because Bitcoin still fluctuates, when people want to get out of crypto, they keep their money in Tether. So we'll see what happens here. But now we're starting to see that major federal reserves across the US, institutions, are starting to become a little more concerned about what is going on with stablecoins, with crypto. And this is good news. This is good news because this means that we're finally starting to make some moves in the crypto world. We're finally starting to see that, look, financial institutions are considering regulations. They're getting worried about crypto. And when they start to get worried, that means, okay, something's actually happening. Things are actually progressing. But so that's what's going on. A couple more stories I do want to go over before we finish the day. But please be sure to like the video. Mason the Monkey, the only way money makes a big bag is to hold long term. Exactly. But John, Mega Media Entertainment, yo, what I miss? You missed a lot. You missed a lot, but we're going to put timestamps down below. If you guys can, please be sure to like the video. Let's see if we can get this up to 150 likes. And I got a couple more stories I do want to go over. So if you are just joining us, titles are always going to be cryptocurrency, Bitcoin news. No scammy titles, no clickbait titles. We're just going to be straight up and just do cryptocurrency, Bitcoin news, put the date. That's that. So if you guys appreciate that, rather than just see like a crazy title, let me know by just liking the video. Let's see if we can get this up to 150. 150. Holly Gravy. I heard back in April that we were in a crypto bubble. Didn't know what that meant until now. I did the same, but ETH. Look at South America gold mine over there now. Just reading a couple of your comments before we get into the next couple of things. Rachel says she loves ADA. Yeah, we did a whole entire little section on ADA talking about its use cases long term. The thing that I like about Cardano is it's more energy efficient, it can process more transactions per second, and that Charles Hoskinson, their founder, is actually actively seeking out partnerships all around the world. He's not just saying, look, I'm satisfied with people just finding this. He's like, no, I need to push this out. I need to try and get as many partnerships as possible. That's what you do with a business. Okay, let's go on to the next story. The world's first Bitcoin ETF, the Purpose Bitcoin ETF, added $3 million per day throughout the entire Bitcoin price dip. And this is important because the Purpose Bitcoin ETF now has over 21,000 Bitcoin, and it is very, very interesting. This is one of the first Bitcoin ETFs that was in Canada. We had about 3 Bitcoin ETFs that were established in Canada. I think there's 4 or 5 now. We also have a couple of Ethereum ETFs in Canada as well. But the significant part of this shows that in Canada, every single day that we saw a dip, $3 million worth of Bitcoin was added. And that shows us that institutions, the big money players, are the ones getting involved. Because right now, most people like you and me don't invest in Bitcoin or Ethereum ETFs. Like, I do have some in Grayscale Bitcoin Trust and Grayscale Ethereum Trust, just because I have money on different exchanges, different platforms, different apps that don't allow for crypto trading. So if I want to get exposure and I don't know what I want to invest in, I like crypto long term, so I just put it into those ETFs and I don't feel like moving the money over. But for the most part, most people go to Coinbase, go to Binance, go to Gemini, and they just say, look, I'm going to buy crypto here. I don't need to buy a Bitcoin or Ethereum ETF. But the thing is, institutions, with all the regulations, everything in place, it's not so easy for them to just say, oh yeah, I'm going to buy Bitcoin, just hold some Bitcoin. Or I'm going to buy Ethereum, just hold Ethereum. It's not so easy. There's a lot of regulations, a lot of issues around that they would have to follow. Like Square has done it, Tesla's done it, but the vast majority of institutions have not done that. But now we're seeing that the Purpose Bitcoin ETF in Canada has seen not a reduction in the number of holders and holdings for Bitcoin, even after it dropped below 30,000, but we're seeing it increase dramatically. So beginning May 15th, an average of 86.15 Bitcoin were bought per day in the ETF, totaling 3,446 Bitcoin between then and now. So if we look between May 15th and right now, over 3,500 Bitcoin have been added. So what that shows us is that even though we have seen the market crash, we have seen the entire crypto world go from 60,000 for Bitcoin down to 30,000. Then we saw a drop below 30,000. What we're seeing is that institutions are not getting worried. They're using this as a time to actively buy more. If you guys didn't see the story the other day, is that we saw some of the biggest players in Bitcoin, some people who are very bullish on Bitcoin, they came out and bought more during the drop. The first one that we saw was with MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy, I'm pulling it up right now. MicroStrategy bought Kathy Wood. Here we go. Bitcoin. MicroStrategy bought $500 million in a single day for Bitcoin. That was the day that we saw the price drop to $29,000 per coin. They bought $500 million worth of Bitcoin. So what we're seeing is that during these crashes, every single time we see a bit of a correction, institutions that are involved in crypto, they continue to add more to their position. MicroStrategy now owns over $3 billion worth of Bitcoin, over 100,000 coins, similar to Kathy Wood. Kathy Wood and ARK Invest bought a massive amount of Bitcoin as well. If we pull there up, Lucid Tracking, this is a site where you can see exactly what stocks they're buying and selling. If we look on this, on Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, we'll search it up, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, you can see that they added consistently every single day a couple $1 million. Over the last week, when the price, whoops, it says reload. But every single day they bought a significant amount of Bitcoin while the price was down. Previously, when the price was not down, they didn't care to buy anymore. You could see on June 17th, 16th, 15th, like for about a week and a half, they didn't do much of anything. Really, for a month, they didn't do much of anything. Ever since May 24th, they have not really bought any Bitcoin. But since then, they have been buying significantly over time. We are seeing, this is June 22nd, they bought 29 million. This is June 23rd, they bought 2 million. June 24th, another 2 million. Now they own over $256 million worth of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and they're continuing to add over time. So in my opinion, that's just a great move for crypto that shows us that, look, we have a lot of long-term potential, nothing to worry about that. But anyways, that's what's really going on with crypto. Please, if you guys can, let's get this video up to 150 likes right now. Put any questions you have in the chat and we'll answer some of those questions. As long as you guys like the video, I'll see that and we'll make sure to answer all of your questions that you do have. Let's see if we can get it up to 150. What is up, George? George, change is coming. Maybe not in your life or mine, but the future gen is here. We're definitely going to see change here. John, what is up, John? What is John saying? We have power, but big money is the ruler for now. Well, once big money starts to put money into crypto, that's when you're going to start to see major gains. The thing with crypto right now is a lot of institutions don't have any money in crypto at all. They have very little. Like, you don't see Coca-Cola, you don't see Procter & Gamble, you don't see Johnson & Johnson. None of these companies have money in Bitcoin. And these are some of the biggest companies that have been around for the longest. They have no exposure to Bitcoin. So once we start to see them put Bitcoin, put Ethereum, put Dogecoin into their balance sheet, put any crypto into their balance sheet, well, that's going to be when we start to see massive gains for retail investors who have stuck it out the longest and have been here the longest. Tadashi Gaming, BitBoy copy. Definitely not. A lot of my videos are on the stock market. If you look at my last 5 videos, 3 of them are on the stock market. I just talk about everything. Where do you see Cardano in the next 5 years? I think it definitely could overtake Ethereum in terms of market cap. It's just going to depend on how many people are using Cardano versus using Ethereum. The only way that Cardano is going to be able to replace Ethereum in terms of market cap is if we see more people actually owning Cardano. Because right now, vast majority of people own, in the DeFi world, vast majority of people own Ethereum. Because of like NFTs, people, if they want to buy NFTs, they need Ethereum. Smart contracts, just Ethereum has been around longer, more developed. George, how often do I go live? I go live every single day. Andrew, your stream is solid. Thank you. Appreciate that. Like 213, what do you think about the SEC and Ripple? Can Ripple be the next Ethereum? I don't think Ripple can. I think the next Ethereum would be Cardano. I think Cardano definitely has more potential just because, like what we spoke about earlier, Cardano actively seeks out new partnerships. The crazy thing is no other crypto we've heard who is actually talking to El Salvador. Doesn't mean it's not the case. Doesn't mean it's not the case at all. But Charles Hoskinson has come out and said, look, we are really trying to get integrated into El Salvador, and we know El Salvador is going to be open to the idea. Like, they just made Bitcoin legal tender. So I would be absolutely shocked if we didn't see them go through with this and actually have some sort of partnership with Cardano. For those of you who are just joining us, Charles Hoskinson, the co-creator of Cardano, came out and said that he's in talks currently with El Salvador, trying to get a meeting with the president of El Salvador to try and actually digitize the entire country beyond just making Bitcoin legal tender. They want to do something similar to what they did with Ethiopia, where they made Cardano blockchain-based ID for all students. They're trying to do that, trying to get much more integrated into just daily life rather than just say, oh, you can pay with this, you can pay with that. Because crypto is much more than just saying, oh, you can go pay with something. Crypto has smart contracts. Crypto has NFTs. Like the example that I like to go back to, I'm going to go back to every single time now, is with the Bank of Israel. Because the Bank of Israel came out the other day and had the craziest, most unique use case for Bitcoin that we have seen actually implemented into real life. And what we saw is that they came out and they programmed, they tested the ability to program car ownership. I know a lot of you guys might have already heard this, but it's just crazy. They successfully tested the ability to program a car ownership certificate transfer using non-fungible tokens and complete the transaction where an NFT payment was made, the condition of the certificate's transfer. So essentially what happened is they successfully were able to make car ownership title an NFT. Then they made it so when someone paid for that car, when they transferred money from one account to another, it automatically transferred over that title using a smart contract. That's the way smart contracts work. You say, oh, if I send you this amount of money, I send you this, well then it's automatically, you're going to give me this. It's just programmed in automatically. That's what happened. Someone said, oh, if you pay this amount, the title of the car is automatically going to be sent over. So it's much more than just saying, oh, you can pay with something using digital currency. Much more than just that. And that's what we're seeing with Cardano, with their partnership, potential partnership with with El Salvador, what's going on with them and Ethiopia, and there's a lot more to really like about it. Holly Gravy says Charles Hoskinson said he regrets giving ETH to his assistant. I'm pretty sure that he came out and said that he doesn't regret giving the money to his assistant because the assistant was very helpful, and at the time it wasn't worth a lot. I'm pretty sure it was an article that said he didn't regret that, but you guys can correct me. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he said he did not regret giving his money, his Ethereum, to his assistant. He's still a billionaire anyway, so it doesn't really matter. He has more money than he knows what to do with. I don't own ETH, but made the move to Cardano. Very cool. Jermaine Rojas. Loading up on AMP2. Dogecoin. Someone's asking about Dogecoin. We can look at Dogecoin real quick. Right now, Dogecoin's price, let's take a look. Dogecoin's currently number 6 in terms of market cap, which is exciting to see because it is holding above XRP and Polkadot. It's still in that top 10. Nothing has really changed in terms of its position. We are just seeing the entire market down significantly. It was ahead of Cardano at one point for a brief period of time, but now it's back down below. The thing that happened with Dogecoin that came out recently is right now, Dogecoin's price is sitting right at 24 cents per coin. It's been fluctuating between 22 and 25 cents per coin. But the big news that came out with Dogecoin the other day is actually, first of all, what happened with Elon Musk. I'm going to pull up Elon Musk, but Elon Musk actually tweeted about it. He said that if he got a dog, he would name it Floki, a Shiba Inu pup, Floki. Who knows what Floki is, but he said he would name it that. Also, he came out and said he liked a couple of tweets about Dogecoin. But another big story with Dogecoin is that their largest holder is still holding Dogecoin. They haven't sold a single Dogecoin after that. So right now, the mysterious crypto whale, which everyone knows holds about a third of the entire Dogecoin in circulation, they saw that they still owned 36.7 billion Dogecoin, which is worth 36.7 billion Dogecoin, and they have not sold any of this. This is important because a lot of people follow what these whale accounts are doing to decide, should you buy more, should you sell more, what should you do? And the significant thing about this is that really across most of the crypto world, we're seeing large accounts, if they are manipulating the market, they're still buying back in. So most of these large accounts are adding more to their positions than they've owned in the past. So that's something exciting to see because right now, for example, Dogecoin, this whale account has not sold any. They just have the same amount. This could be because people say it's Robinhood and Robinhood Crypto owns this Dogecoin. But you know what? Even if it is Robinhood, still the largest account owns all their Dogecoin. They didn't sell anything. If you guys didn't see this story the other day with what is going on with Robinhood Crypto, speaking about them, Robinhood was supposed to have an IPO. And the thing is Robinhood has been making a lot of moves into the crypto world. And I know we've gone over this, but a lot of people have not heard about this story yet. And that was with the SEC delaying Robinhood's IPO because of questions over crypto and their move into the crypto world. Right now, Robinhood has been talking a lot about getting a digital wallet where you can buy, sell, trade crypto across so when you buy and sell crypto on Robinhood, that you could actually send it to a cold storage wallet, that you could send it to Coinbase if you wanted to, you could send it to Binance. Right now, you can't do that. So the reason why their IPO is getting delayed is because right now the problem is with Robinhood is that people wanted to be able to buy, send their crypto from one wallet to another. And Mark Cuban has come out and said, this is the biggest problem with Robinhood. This is the biggest thing. So right now they've been making major moves in this space. And because of that, the SEC has officially delayed their IPO multiple times. It was supposed to take place in June, obviously not taking place in June. Then they were going to move it to July. So it looks like it's going to be more around the fall, but we all know with the SEC, they keep delaying everything related to crypto, whether it's crypto ETFs, whether it's companies that have, exposure to crypto or are like an exchange. These things keep getting delayed dramatically. Nothing new here. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. Let's see if we get this up to 150 likes. Robinhood holding all of the Doge. Very possible. It is very possible. John, have been in most coins, but finally picked ADA and Poly. Good luck to all. I definitely like Polygon. Robinhood holding all of Doge. Definitely possible. You have 10K of Doge in Robinhood, and I really want out. You could sell it, but you still aren't going to be able to move it from, let's say, Robinhood to Coinbase. The thing is when you sell it on Robinhood, you have to, like Mark Cuban has said, that's the biggest restriction for Dogecoin, because right now with Dogecoin, if you want to be able to pay for something with crypto, you have to have a wallet address where you can send it somewhere else. And right now, that's the biggest thing holding back crypto, according to Mark Cuban and a lot of people in the crypto world, because they say, look, Robinhood is a platform that has millions of users who all own crypto, but the problem with it is that you can't send that money or pay with it or buy stuff at retailers or buy stuff online, because Robinhood Crypto does not have a way for you to actually pay for stuff. So that's a big issue. It's one of the biggest things holding crypto back, because you got to think about it. Crypto is great for investing, but how is it going to be a $5 trillion, $10 trillion market cap asset class? It's going to be that big when people actually can use crypto to buy whatever they want. We'll spend it however they want, send it wherever they want. So what we're seeing now is that, look, Robinhood is working on this in the background to be able to let people send money from place to place. They're going to have their wallet ready fairly soon. Just right now, not ready. And because of that, their IPO has been delayed. Other thing going on with crypto right now, I've been getting a lot of questions as to what is going on with Polygon. And right now, let's pull it up. I went over this the other day, but this is the biggest news for Polygon, and one of the main reasons why I am heavily invested in it. So first of all, the first thing we saw is that Mark Cuban invested in Polygon. And he didn't just invest by Polygon coins. He invested in the actual company. But the big news with Polygon is actually with institutional investors. I know we've gone over this, but people seem to overlook it time and time again. And the thing is institutional investors are putting more money into Polygon now really than into Ethereum in terms of percentages. So what we're seeing is when we look at in this chart right here, this shows the percentage of total volume on each platform. So let's say Polygon and Ethereum, the percentage of the total volume in transactions and how large the transactions are. And what we're seeing is on Polygon, they have a higher percentage of $1 million plus transactions than to Ethereum. So what that shows you is that a lot of institutional investors are moving over to Polygon because there's lower gas fees than Ethereum, and even though it may miss out on some of the security aspects of being directly on Ethereum's network, a lot of people are actually moving over to this, because you got to think, how many people are making $1 million plus transactions? People with at least $5-10 million. It's not going to be someone with $1 million who's transacting $1 million on Polygon. They're going to need to be at least, if not a if not a billionaire, they're going to have, tens of millions of dollars. So it's interesting to see that with Polygon, because a lot of people are actually starting to move over to it. Should you pull your money out of crypto due to the downtrend? Someone is asking. Me personally, I would not. But it depends what your time horizon is. Are you looking to invest short term, or are you looking to invest long term? Me personally, I hate trying to time the market, because the thing with crypto, which I've talked about so many times, is right now 6% of people in the US, we mentioned this earlier, own crypto. What happens when that number gets to 50%? What happens when institutions right now barely any institutions have exposure to Bitcoin? What's going to happen when institutions finally start to allocate a good portion of their balance sheet into crypto? We're going to see the prices skyrocket. So the thing is, if that happens a year from now, if it happens 3 years from now, if it happens 2 months from now, I don't want to miss out on that opportunity and miss out on the moment when institutions pour money into crypto, because it's going to happen, and it's going to happen very quickly. We're going to see one institution come out and say they do it, and all the institutions are going to come out and follow after them. We already see Goldman Sachs is now have crypto trading, but I don't want to miss out on that opportunity. So for me, I don't try and time it. I just say, look, I'm buying, I'm going to dollar cost average, I'm going to add consistently over time, and I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to say, look, I believe in this long term, I'm going to hold it. And if it goes down, I'll probably buy more. Other question. If you guys are just joining us, please be sure to like the stream. It helps out a lot. Let's see if we can get this up to 200 likes. The thing is you guys may be wondering, the title of the video every single day is going to be cryptocurrency and Bitcoin news with the date. I've talked about this for those of you who have been with us the whole time, but the thing is, someone says there's a bot in the chat. Let me get rid of them. Here we go. We blocked them. Okay, but the thing is, so I'm going to title every single video for this on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin news for the day. So I'm not going to try and clickbait anything or say anything that's major Bitcoin news, Bitcoin going to $1 million. This is the greatest signal ever for Bitcoin in the history of Bitcoin. Like, no, we're just gonna say cryptocurrency, Bitcoin news. Not gonna just keep it simple, because like when I look up for what's going on in crypto, I just try and figure out what's going on that day, what's happening. So that's what I did. So we're just gonna title them cryptocurrency and Bitcoin news. And if you guys appreciate that rather than like clickbait titles, I would appreciate if you guys do like the video. Let's see if we can get it up to 200 likes. We're at 238 people, so we can definitely get it up there. And put anything you got for chat. Any question you have, put it in the chat and we'll talk about it. What's the most underrated crypto right now or undervalued? I like Cardano. We spoke about it earlier. We've gone over everything related to Cardano. And the one thing that I really like about it is, first of all, that Charles Hoskinson is talking with El Salvador. And if Cardano can get this partnership with, which I think they definitely will, that could mean billions of dollars coming, being transacted on the Cardano network. Not right now, but within the next couple of years, it could be billions of dollars for Cardano, really causing the market cap to skyrocket from where it is. And I think Cardano is one of the only cryptos that definitely has like a real shot of overtaking Ethereum, because Ethereum's big. Ethereum has a lot of use cases. It's already integrated into a lot of different aspects of life. So it's really big. But Cardano, it has the potential. It's able to process more transactions per second. It's going to, it's able to handle more transactions per second. Cardano is also more energy efficient, doesn't consume as much energy. And also it has a co-creator, Charles Hoskinson, who in my opinion is much more active than any other crypto. We hear about him talking about crypto all the time, what he's trying to do, how he's trying to improve Cardano, what they're doing. And I like that. Yeah, Hector the dude. That's the thing that I keep going back to with crypto. Everyone talks about right now crypto, how we're at a $1.26 trillion market cap. Prices are down. Ethereum's at 1,700. Bitcoin's at 31,000. They say, you know what? Prices are going to be flat for a while. Nothing's going to happen. First of all, the thing is, 6% of people in the US own crypto. This is a study done by Bloomberg. Could be wrong, could be right. Who knows? Either way, I know for a fact that majority of people in the US don't own crypto. So once we see that 6% go up to 30%, 6% go up to 50%, and eventually I think everyone is going to own at least some form of crypto. And once everyone owns some form of crypto, well, going from 6% to 100%, that's going to be massive gains. And then that's just retail investors. Institutions, you don't see major institutions like Coca-Cola doesn't invest in Bitcoin. Nike doesn't invest in Bitcoin. What other companies? Like Lululemon. What else? Sony. All these companies don't invest in Bitcoin. They don't have exposure to Bitcoin. Once we start to see them actually get exposure, and we see like Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, we see oil and gas companies, like we're going to see all companies eventually have part of their balance sheet on Bitcoin. And when we see that happen, that's going to be when we see the price of Bitcoin go from 30,000 to that 500,000. That's what we've seen Cathie Wood and ARK Invest. Cathie Wood and ARK Invest have said multiple times that she believes Bitcoin will reach $500,000 per coin. We did a whole video on this the other day. But either way, you could see Cathie Wood, ARK Invest predicts Bitcoin will go to 500,000. Her reasoning behind this is that single digits of institutions' balance sheets are going to be allocated to Bitcoin. And when that happens, that's going to be when we see crypto go all the way up. Is there any email source you would recommend so your personal email isn't with your crypto email? What do you mean by that, George? If you guys are just joining us, please be sure to like the video. Let's see if we get this up to 200 likes. If you guys enjoyed any part of this video, it would help me out a lot. I really appreciate that. Buy crypto on the sell-off, Andrew is saying. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I bought the other day like $5,000, like not a lot, but like $5,000 of Cardano. I bought like $5,000 of all my favorite cryptos, just all across the board, like of like 6 different cryptos. Is there, you're going to your girlfriend's house, you're still listening. Ella, thank you. Ellis, you're saying you subscribe because I don't do the clickbait titles. I just put cryptocurrency and Bitcoin news. I appreciate that. How do you learn how crypto works? Are you talking about investing in crypto? Are you talking about investing in crypto or what it does? People are saying the $5,000 is a lot. I mean, yeah, it's a lot to most people, but sometimes we see people on YouTube saying, oh, I put $1 million into this. I put $1 million into that. And it's like, I'm not putting $1 million into things every single day. I put like $5,000 into stuff all the time. I do long-term Mason the Monkey. Love Mason the Monkey's name. My favorite name of people in the chat because I recognize him. He's with us every single live stream. Every live stream, Mason the Monkey is with us. Thank you. Ellis, talk about investing. Okay, well, I'll do an entire video like how to invest in crypto for beginners, how to invest in stock for beginners in 2020. So right now, I would post more videos every day, guys, but the problem is YouTube only sends out recommendations for 3, and for some reason, my videos have not been performing as well. So I'm waiting until we get do better on average, and I'll post more videos. So I already have 2 more videos planned to go out after this later today. One's gonna be on like AMC, GameStop, and just meme stocks in general. Another one's something very important, Tesla. You are here live every single day. Artemis, but I can't pronounce that first name. Abstractus Artemis. But yeah, I think that's really going to be it for today. We're going to wrap this up, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to like the stream and make sure to check us out tomorrow. Tomorrow we will go live at 12 p.m. Eastern time, at noon Eastern time, another live stream just called Crypto and Bitcoin News for the day. But I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, great weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time for another live stream. See you guys.